Morning everyone. What day is it? Thursday? I think so. We've got the Alfa having a sub and amp in today. I think it's a newer model, so we might have to load the head unit. And by that I mean like a proper converter, like the kicker key lock, so we can do radio detect, sort out the frequencies, de-equalize the system and get proper bass out of it, but we'll see. I don't know what they're bringing me down to fit, so we'll have a little nose. What else? More subscribers. We're on, I think I looked at 1537. So lots more people, which is brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it lots. So somebody's going on holiday already. I don't know whether you caught the news last night. Thousands of kids in a park, all drinking, leaving rubbish everywhere. In a square footage, there must have been 1,000 people. It was just mad. Like the scenes on TV, you give people an inch and they take a mile, and then they'll be whinging again when we're back in another lockdown because the COVID rate has gone through the roof. It's absolute lunacy. You can't educate stupidity. They just need locking up. The softly approach from Boris is not working. It's saddening to say. I find it very disrespectful. The people that have already lost their lives and the poor NHS workers that are, you know, they must be at the end of their tether with it all. So feel sorry for them. But enough about that BS. We're in the pube. Life is good. Been shopping at more Mercedes last night. Was looking around more vans. But I am stuck between what to do. I think this would be one of the cars that goes. Officially, I don't really want to get rid of the Lexus or the Lotus because I don't think the time is right. And they're awesome cars, you know. Unless the price was right, I'm never going to find another one in that condition, either of them. So that's not saying I could work on one and get it back to that condition, but you know, I've got it at the minute, so to give it away would be madness. Oh, scrubbage. I have found the cube has settled a little bit. So the initial drop, it's kind of slowly getting comfortable where it wants to be, and the wide wheels do hit in places, I must say. But then again, this is Swindon, and at the minute the roads are like off-roading. It's like you might as well be overlanding, let alone drive it to work on a paved surface. It is a bit of a joke at the minute. All right, Speedy, chill out. You and your stickers. Sat up my arse all the way down that road. She's only jealous that my car's cool as fuck.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
The old postie crushing stuff through my door. Morning everyone, how are we? So we're back in with the Alfa Romeo Giulietta Speciale. It's a 2017 model. This is a diesel, but it's got the cloverleaf parts on it, so it's dead cool. It's that kind with the funky dash. Now, I've been trying to decipher. Obviously we've got to fit customer's own sub and amp into here. We're adding the leads and all the knowledge and yada yada yada. I've been trying to figure out what this thing is because it's been a nightmare trying to find the radio. Not everything is as simple as it seems. So that there is a sub blank, but the shelf is thick. So I didn't know actually whether there really was a sub in there, and in which case we could have an amplifier in the car. It could be the Harman Kardon system. So the amp is usually stored in the side here. So I've had a little look in there. It's not there. Then I started looking at the front. So took down all this system here, all the glove box and everything. Started sort of taking apart the dash, trying to find the radio because we have just got a USB blank. And basically an hour later, I found it, and it's down there above the driver's tootsies. So this is our radio. There we go. It's not the Harman version, it's just the basic. We've got the 4 speaker ins and outs there, so that's simple enough to do. And I've just got to now make my connections and put the car back together because I've stripped it apart for the last hour and a half. Fun times. Right, so I'm going to crack on with this one. It's a bit posh. It's got some nice little angles to it. Lovely big diffuser. And I will come back to you in a bit when I'm kind of made sense of this thing. Fortunately, the battery is in the boot, so that's one thing we don't have to worry about. We've got to run a connector down the side, do all the bits and bobs into it. Doing a kicker key LOC, so we'll be putting one of these in, which will give us obviously the correct sound and test frequencies and whatnot. So we're going to do one of those. That'd be nice. And then back on with this bad boy. So I will see you in a bit. Fun times. Afternoon everyone, how are we diddling? So we've got a couple of things done. I've got to put this side back together, but that's now in one piece. This is now in one piece. So I've run all my cables through, got my RCA lead, my controller, my base cube and my speed plug. So we've got live, ground and a remote turn on, which is here, and then that gets plugged into the back of the amp. So this will be plugged into here, runs power into this, speaker out to that. Job's a good one. Just show you what I mean. So here's our sub box. So we got our RCA leads, and we've got our input, which is red and black there. We've got our remote base controller, which is that one there, and then we have our speed plug. Now this can only go in one way, so we can't basically switch the polarity and make everything freak out. And then that, let me see, just connects into there. So we can basically unplug 3 things, 1, 2, 3, and remove the whole system as fast as he wants to. What we do need to do is change the frequency and the gain. Grab my little screwdriver. Hi-yah! Here he is. And we're going to put this, the gain and frequency. So frequency is roughly going to be around about 80, which will be roughly there. And the gain, we're just going to set for halfway for now until we've set it all up and tested. Go there. And then that can basically sit sort of up there out of the way. Nice and simple. Right, let's get the front back together. My key is attached to the radio. Can you see in there? That's pretty clever, huh? So there's my key. We've got to get to that in a minute and we'll do the setup, play the test tracks, noise floor, full gain, all that sort of stuff. Once it's back together, give the customer a ring. And another one's just turned up. I've got a Mito to put a sub in. Customer's own equipment. We'll talk about that when it comes in. Like. Oh, so frustrating. I'm trying to get this thing done and everyone keeps walking through the bloody door. So we're finally getting down to the nitty gritty of the key LOC or key lock. So I'm just playing the noise floor and it's just listening to the sound that's coming out. These LEDs are going to strobe up from 1 to 4 until they've got enough of information from the car. When the algorithm is complete, they'll strobe backwards and forwards to say they're happy, and then we can adjust the gain output, and then we go from there. Lots of weird noises. Apologies, headphone users. Woo. There we go. The correction is done. The LEDs moving backwards and forwards are happy. That means we are all processed and ready to go. Then to exit the setup, I press the key button once more. There we go. That's it, we're done. Happy days. Now we can play some tunes out the factory head unit and we can set the bass up properly without it sounding like a bag of frogs. Happy days. Let's get that unit back up, sort the gain on the sub, test it, next Alpha in a bit. The speciale is done. Next we've got a JTD Mark II. We've got a radio. And a sub. Oh God.
What is your emergency? I hear shots! Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
Afternoon, everyone. I'm still alive. Don't worry. Cracked on with this. So we've got our fuse in. We've got cables running through. We've got the head unit back in. I'm going to wash my hands when I've finished. And the amp and sub is in with our cables run down the side. So yet to start this thing up and see if it actually works. I don't know. We shall have a little testicle in a minute. But I'll see you then. Chocolate time. Afternoon, guys. Right, or should I say evening. It's the end of the day. I've got a frog in my throat. So actually figured out the Alpha. I don't know whether I said, but we switched it on, there was no sound. And I kind of went through everything again and again and again, thinking, you know, is it me, is it the equipment, something as old and as tatty as that? You never really know, and it's always a bit of a risk that you have it fitted and the thing never turn on. But stupidly enough, I had the head unit out because she asked me to fit a DAB aerial for her because it was never installed with the car, which we did. Obviously we plugged in the RCA leads, we did the amp turn on, which we did. So all of that I knew was kind of spot on, but for some reason it wasn't playing. Anyway, I never knew this, and we don't really do much with Sony. But I turned the sub on the EQ settings. I made sure the sub was switched on. Now with the Sony, it's got like a mono RCA, so one RCA, it's not stereo, or it may well be, but it doesn't ask for a stereo input, so it's not like two RCA leads, it's just a single one. So I put on a splitter so that it was playing 1 to 2, and obviously 2 went into the amp on the back, and it had power. We confirmed that with the status light. And there wasn't a message on the amp to say that it was, you know, shorting out or faulty or, you know, whatever. Everything looked like it should be working, but there was just no sound. So she turned up, bless her, and I'm like, your sub's on, but there's no sound coming out of it. And she was saying that she just removed it from a car and it was working fine. So I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to give it one last once over. I went through all the wiring again, just to double check. It's been a long day. Power, earth, ground, good. Signal, good. Went to the back of the head unit, took the head unit out. We're plugged into the sub output, good, but we've got no sound. So I removed the RCA lead from the sub output on the head unit and plugged it into the rear speaker output, and the sub kicked into life. So on Sony's, on the EQ setting, if you turn the sub on, it doesn't actually work. If you turn the sub off, you get sub output. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it either. But it worked, and she's got a car and it's sounding good, so happy days. Weird. Right. Tomorrow we've got an Audi A Q5 that's supposed to be coming in for parking sensors. So we've got a flush kit to put on the front of an Audi Q5 tomorrow. Strangely enough, it's Good Friday. So I hope that means the paint shop's working. Otherwise we won't be getting any colour-coded paint. Fun times. So we'll have to see tomorrow what's going on with that. But they're over there, my painters, over the other side of the estate. So I'm hoping they're working tomorrow. If not, we may have to have a bit of an Alex blend. Or we could be really lucky and it be like a black or something that I've already got on shelf. But day 4 of the giveaway for the Kicker Tabor headphones. So if you haven't already, go back through the videos. You've got to watch them end to end. Figure out what the words are. You've had your next one today. Jerry, stop telling everyone. So you've had your 4th one today. 5th one tomorrow, and then we give away choosing Saturday. So I'll come back to you then. Me and Neil will be in plumbing away at this malarkey. I need to tidy up a bit. It's been a bit hectic, but for now, home time. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for coming on board. If you have already, welcome. And I will see you bright and early in the morning for breakfast. And I'll chat. See you then. Bye.
You told me you had subscribed to ASC Audio and now you've missed an episode. No!